Hello and welcome to Wet Hot Titanic Summer, where we talk about every single Titanic thing that has ever existed. I was trying to get a gravity bake for the Halabashan bosses, but I just couldn't win just yet. Well, you made some progress, and that's the thing that counts, right? You now know how to do it a little bit better. Ooh, mega potions needed. So tonight, right, right. Tonight we will be talking about it is a night to remember week. So, a night to remember is an important installment. Uh, because A Night to Remember by Walter Lord, it is the book, not just a book, it's the book about about the Titanic disaster period, right? Um it was released November 1955, so this makes it 43 years after the sinking. Wait, no. Sorry, this is incorrect. It was 54. It was 54. Movie time, but first facts. Exactly. Um the book. The book. Uh it is such an important book that even though it was released in 55 or sorry, 54, this is still seen as the definitive resource on the sinking of the Titanic. Yes, even still to this day. It was so important, in fact, that Stephen Beale, another Titanic historian and author of his own book, Down with the Old Canoe, A Cultural History of the Titanic Disaster. So a book that doesn't just focus on the actual events of the Titanic, but like Titanic and popular culture. He says that there are two defining moments of the Titanic mythos. The actual sinking of the ship in 1912, and then the release of this book in 1954. This is, of course, this is a history book, so it's like the length of a novel, but it's very much it's nonfiction, so it's factual. It's very much based on solid facts and stuff. We'll get into how much research Lord did. Um, but Lord has this very specific way that he wrote this book, where even though it's very fact-based, right, it's a minute-by-minute detailing of what exactly went down, but because it was based on a lot of firsthand accounts of survivors, it still manages to be um a very visceral retelling, right? It really does put you in the center of the action. It captures the emotions and the real things that people felt, the actual trauma that they lived through um on the ship. So right, it's despite being nonfiction, it's still very, very engaging in a way that fiction tends to be, right? Um, and his research that he did, or actually, let me back up a bit. Let me back up. Oops, sorry. Let me back up just a little bit. So no reporters interviewing Dick Joy here, unfortunately, although it very much does put you in the center of the action. Very much like you are there. You because you were there, you know. Okay. What's also kind of a little bit different about this adaptation, especially in the way that it inspired further adaptations, is that this book didn't really focus on the class angle, which seems a little ridiculous almost about the Titanic incident, because the incident is all about class, right? Lower class people just didn't get as many chances to survive as upper class people did. Um And um what kind of set his adaptation apart is the way that trauma is unifying, right? We were certainly around. Um, Class kind of starts to melt away at a certain point of trauma, but again, there just kind of was more trauma going around in the lower classes, so it kind of seems maybe a little bit um misguided, but there are lenses to look through every single incident and every single story. And this is just the lens that Lord decided to put his A Night to Remember through. Um Also, according to Beale, one of the things that made it work one of the things that made it work so much was the way that Lord contextualized it for the modern audience, right? 1954 being 43 years after the sinking is still very much within living memory, but it's the average age person is 43 young years or younger now, right? People who are a little bit older or becoming grandparents, their time as like the essential mover and shakers of society have kind of passed now, right? So um it really is the way that Lord made this to be like a real and engaging subject again is very important. Um, uh, and the way that he did that was by mythologizing the event as like the end of an age of innocence, right? The ship sinking marked the beginning of the 20th century's unending sequence of disillusionment. Before the Titanic, all was quiet. Afterward, all was tumult. Um, and while we always love to harken back to an imagined past, a rose tinted past, um, that's always there of like a make America great again kind of thing of things were so much easier, things were so much better before back there. Um, yeah, right. And the thing about the past is that you always tend to forget the worst parts of the past, right? Every single person that has ever lived throughout the world has probably encountered quite a lot of the same hardships that you are going through right now, right? Even at a time of severe uncertainty, right? It's not like fascism hasn't risen to power globally before. Um, it was not easier back then just because we didn't have like social media or whatever. The main problem here is like fascism and reactionary thought and people hating other people. It's not just the fact that now we have the internet that's melting our brains or whatever, something like that. And people who suffer the most in the past ain't around to bitch. That too. That part. That part for sure. Um, so we always love to tinge the past in this rose tintedness. Um, but like it's very easy to see this 1954 audience, a post-war audience, what happened right after the Titanic sank. It was both of the fucking world wars happen, a global rise to fascism, a genocide. Geez, in that time, 43 could have been a great grandparent. A lot of we met in high school and got children. Exactly. Um, yeah, and teenage pregnancy being a lot bigger, and of course, teenage pregnancy usually means that the father is an adult, which is why when, Nazis nowadays wanna bring back teenage all of us, first of all, Republicans love to say, "Oh, teenage pregnancy happens because there's too much sex ed going on," when actually sex ed the more children have like age appropriate information about sex and consent, the more they choose to engage in much safer sex practices, which includes picking sex partners who are age appropriate for them. But of course, and Republicans used to have this kind of culture war about not wanting sex education because that would make all of these harlots have too much teenage pregnancy. But now that our white birth rate is down, we want teenage pregnancy to happen. Yeah. Yeah, the definitely not pedophile party is making a whole lot of fucking hay about teenage pregnancy being down for the first time in like generations. What's that about? What is that about? What's that about? Um, um, but yes, the 1955 post-war audience, right? They just survived the context of what good has happened since the Titanic sank. We went through these two world wars. We went through a Holocaust. The only technology we seem to be able to make is a technology that can only be used to destroy the human body more and more. It's hard to not see the Titanic as like the end of good ever happening, specifically because like the Titanic itself was a major feat of manufacturing, right? And it was manufacturing that was just made for good times, luxury, leisure, right? She was a luxury cruise liner. All of that steel would nowadays, post the world wars, that would only be used for more missiles and bombs. And then also nowadays, today too, right? And this is also kind of put into the context of, when people talk about like, oh, what if Titanic never sank? It would kind of still be pretty sad because if like going off of her sister ships, the Olympic and the Britannic, what happened to them in wartime stuff is that they were transformed into warships, right? Yes, they were used a lot of the times for as like a medical ship. Um, but like they eventually were used to transport weapons, shoot and kill other people. The old world died by being uh, outfitted with more guns, you know? It's we became just a much scarier place. I'm gonna need to get more water soon. This is a big intro. This is big talking stuff. Good night, Wiley. It still would have sucked. Yeah. Nope. Still sucks. And in this way, like the sinking of the Titanic became more of an omen, right? Um, d- it brought about more than a century of our own hubris. And so this story, like coming back for a post-war audience, like really hit them like pretty hard, right? So, um, and that's kind of why specifically Lord and like again the mythology, the mythologizing of the event itself, in the way that we've kind of seen it become a lot of the times in the movies that we've seen so far, it it's kind of just an event that happens and there's not a lot go like yes there's interpersonal kind of drama things going on, but there's not a lot of the ship is a symbol for something else, right? Look at her beauty and look at her majesty. A lot of the shots, I mean they the exterior shots do look kind of hokey because a lot of them have only been like this kind of silly little models. um and that's something that I believe we'll of course be seeing some stuff today, but mostly with the 1958 film adaptation of A Night to Remember. We start to have this change of focusing on the ship itself kind of becoming a character in these movies, so much so that it is especially a big character in the Cameron movie. So, right, the mythology of this is the last good thing to have ever happened, and we fucking sunk it, because our hubris just got too much. And I will have to refill my water right now. I'm so sorry. I will be right back. Come on, you puppies. Look at me. Thank you. Yummy. Hello, dear. Oh, you such a sweetie. Yes. Okay. This is so our first slide was this is the original print of A Night to Remember, and then this one was the 50th anniversary print. And also, again, um, this book is based on 63 personal interviews that Walter Lord made. He tracked down and interviewed people himself. Um, and he also based a lot of this minute by minute account of the book's memoirs and articles that were written from other survivors. So again, this is as accurate of a piece of any kind of media as we have ever gotten so far about the Titanic sinking. Yes, please hydrate everybody. Hydrate everybody, please. So who is Walter Lord? Um, um, well, first of all, this this book itself, the A Night to Remember, is the breakout book that he's had, right? His not his first book, however, but definitely the most popular book he's ever made, and shot him into superstardom of as much of a superstar as you can get in writing historical books. Walter Lord is the superstar, right? All right. He's the guy. He's the guy. So John Walter Lord Jr. was born on October 8th, 1917, and died on May 19th, 2002. A big part of his formulation of his identity, especially his relationship with the Titanic, began when he traveled again on one of the Titanic's sister ships, the Olympic, when in 1925, when he was 7. So this is 13 years after their Titanic sank. And this kind of gave him a lifelong obsession with the Titanic, right? He while he was on the ship, he described it as him like prowling around to try to see how something that fucking big could sink, right? As a little 7-year-old, like, I don't get it. This ship is like really big and really loud and so cool. How could something like that happen? This just doesn't seem right to me. Not one bit. And so he, like a lot of us Titanic girlies, started reading about the Titanic, drawing the Titanic, And by the age of 10, spent many years collecting Titanic memorabilia, causing people to take note of this oddity. It's autism, folks. It's autism. um you know what, we us Titanic girlies, we understand the feeling of being obsessed with the Titanic so much that you start making other people think, you're just like really into this ship that went and this old canoe that went down a few years ago, huh? um And as we have been through on the Chanel, and in the series of Wet Hot Titanic Summer, uh, d being autistic and having a obsession, being a Titanic girly is, it can happen to all of us. So, like, Walter Lord is, like, the good half of Titanic girlies getting, an autistic hyperfixation about the Titanic. And Adolf Hitler is the bad half, so never think just because you're autistic that somehow makes you a good person. You still have to try to be a good person because evil can still use autism for bad. Uh, so, um, uh, 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 the good autistic Titanic girly. Uh, in his life, years later, when he went on to go to school, he studied history at Princeton and started to go for his law degree at Yale. But then, of course, the attack on Pearl Harbor happened, which is another thing about ships. Ooh, more ship things happening. Ooh, a Titanic girly living through Pearl Harbor must have been horrible. Oh, it must have been horrible. Oh my God. Um, um, Prayers, thoughts and prayers for Walter Lloyd. Lord living through my good boy, my good buddy Walt. Just having a bad time on Pearl Harbor, okay? Um, Uh, and so when World War II broke out in the United States, he paused his studies at Yale, joined the army in World War II. He served as a member of the Office of Strategic Services, which was the OSS, which right. It was created specifically for World War II and disbanded after World War II, but it was the kind of wartime precursor to the CIA. Which, bad, but right, he was there for the wartime. I understand needing like intelligence and needing espionage during like active wartime to go and spy on your own citizens. That's when it becomes stupid. But mainly the point was there that he was always much more of an intelligence guy, right? He's not a go fight him, go beat him up on the front lines kind of thing. He was there to be an intelligence guy, and he served his time in World War II being intelligence and doing espionage. He rose quickly through the ranks of his 2 years of wartime service. He started off as a code clerk, and by the end of his service, had graduated to a secretariat, whatever that means. This is now a defunct um service. So after the war and after World War II ended, he then returned to Yale, finished up his law degree, got that law degree, um and then he started working he started working as a copywriter for the J. Walter Thompson advertisement company. And here's kind of he kind of did, make the dream happen, where he yes, he went and did his boring like 9 to 5 where he like wasn't creatively fulfilled and whatever, but on the side he was like doing his actual passion projects of like writing history books. He uh, uh, published his first book, which was about General Sir Arthur Fremantle, who was a British general who toured the American South during the Civil War. His diaries are pretty famous for he was like a fucking war tourist. So that's weird, but he like had a lot of observations about how like these crackers are crazy. These white people are fucking nuts. They're treating their black people like, "Oh my god." Like, "What? Oh my god." What the fuck? Um, so, that was his first book. It was a mild success, right? Um, Old Walt sounds just like us. I mean, you gotta just try to make the dream happen however you can, right? But the thing is, yes, he had his first one be like kinda it flopped. Not a major flop, but like just a light flop. Sorry, it's not even like a flop. It was a success, but not enough to quit your day job about, right? Um, but then of course, what does he do? He turns to Old Reliable. He turns to his hyperfixation of the Titanic, because girl, you're a Titanic girly. Live your dream, right? We're doing it here on Wet Hot Titanic Summer. So as he's, just doing his day job, his menial labor, he is hard at work tracking down the survivors that he's going to interview, right? Those 60, 62, 63, 63, 63 interviews he does. Um, he's getting all of his research together, and then he finally punishes A Night to Remember, and it is a massive hit. It is a massive mega hit. And then he just, he got to quit his day job and then just do that for the rest of his life. And oh my god. Oh my god, so good for him. Um and then it's just a mega hit. It sold A Night to Remember sold 60,000 copies. I think that was also like the first month. Yeah, 60,000 copies like opening weekend or however book sales are measured. It was translated into over a dozen languages and remained on the bestseller list for 6 months. Again, it is the book about the Titanic, and you just sometimes some people can just write so fucking good that they change the world a little bit. And that's so fucking cool. That is just so fucking cool. Afterwards, with the mega success that he got to, he just got to go live his dream for the rest of his life. He then wrote and edited 11 more history books. They include, but are not limited to, tellings of the events of Pearl Harbor, right? The thing that got him into World War II, the Battle of Midway, the Alamo, the Battle of Baltimore. And what's really cute is that they all kind of have the same naming conventions as A Night to Remember, right? Like the Pearl Harbor is like they're never just called like Pearl Harbor or whatever. It's a day of infamy or incredible victory, or a time to stand. The dawn's early light. Oh God, America, you better work, bitch. Happy 250th. Um, so and what's also kind of cute about this is that the his biography that was published posthumously, right? In 2009, also kind of follows this naming convention, is that it's titled The Way It Was. The Walter Lord on his life and books. Evening to not forget. I'll give you an evening you won't forget. Um, but so I think that's very cute. That's very cute the way that he gives his books those like punchy titles, and then his biographer followed in those footsteps. I think that's just very cute and wholesome. Good for them. Good for them. And but of course, after that, he then became the Titanic guy, right? Is basically like the Titanic expert for the rest of his life. Like, yes, he's doing all of these other history books, but he is also like he is a major like he served as a historical consultant on like nearly every major Titanic adaptation after that. There's going to be tonight's thing, which is going to be Kraft television theater, the 1958 adaptation of A Night to Remember, and of course, the Cameron movie took a lot of his expertise and such. The 2003 documentary about James Cameron and his multiple Titanic projects, right? He dove down to the Titanic himself. So that documentary is about that, and because it was released in 2003, right, only a year after Lord's death, that documentary is dedicated to him. He died from Parkinson's. So, that's just it's a tough way to go. He passed in 2002. Uh, the 2003 documentary is dedicated to him. Um, uh, by 1985, however, there were two big searches for the Titanic in 1981, which uh didn't actually come up with anything, but they got close. And then the 1985 expedition found the wreckage, got some footage, and that created like this huge just rebirth of interest into the Titanic mythos, right? Yeah, what a run. Um how old was he? Let me see again. 1917 to 2002. What is that? Quick maths. Quick maths. 2002 minus 1917. It's 85 years. That's not an inconsequential life, you know? Uh, 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 um, um, so because of this new surge of interest after the 85 um expedition, he then published the sequel, which is called The Night Lives On, because of course it has to be such a another cute little title. Thoughts, theories, and revelations about the Titanic. And so that then became the next book. Of course, not as big of a hit. Um, but it was based on like new information and new revelations, right? From the last 30 or so years of new information that had come out up until that point. Yes, this was released in 86, this sequel book. Um And that's Walter Lord, the Titanic girly to end all Titanic girlies. It's just kind of nice to see to see somebody like have a dream, have a hyperfixation. It was DLC. Well, and as we will get to in some adaptations soon, right? Like one big thing up until this point, and for many adaptations still left to go. Um, every single um, every single adaptation has shown the Titanic going down in one piece, right? That little split that happened wasn't like a theory that had gained a lot of popularity until after this 85 discovery, right? Because the hull, the front of the ship and the back of the ship were in two vastly different areas, right? They were miles apart on the seabed. So they didn't find, I think, the back of the ship for even a couple more years after this. So it became like the big theory that like this ship actually split into two during the sinking itself, right? Not after it was already underwater and stuff. Which Walter Lord did interview quite a couple of people, right? There were always survivors who said, "Yeah, I saw the fucking thing snap in half. I was sitting in there on the lifeboat, okay? I know what I fucking saw." One of those people was like Ava Hart, and if you ever like watch an interview of her, she gets very testy about that because she we're saying for like 50 plus years like yeah, I saw that shit snap in half. Why is that so hard to understand? So I mean, kudos to her. um and stuff. So based on this seminal piece of historical work, the first adaptation, right? So the book is published in 55. Just a year later, we find the Kraft television theater adaptation of A Night to Remember. And here, I love this poster for it because it says Tonight. Tonight. A Night to Remember, the sinking of the Titanic. Based on Walter Lore's bestseller, narrated by Claude Rains, NBC Channel 4, 9 o'clock. Kraft Television Theater. Tonight. Please come over. Tonight. Okay. So I love Tonight. Mama loved Tonight. Love Tonight. So this film was released, it was broadcast, more accurate to say, broadcast live on March 28th, 1956, which makes this 44 years after the sinking of the Titanic. It is 52 minutes, it's black and white and sound, but one note to make here, it's gonna look like shit. Because not only was this television, but it was live television, and television just always has worse quality. Up until like now, right? Television has always had not as great quality, especially if it is a live program for whatever reason. Well, nowadays, the only bad quality live broadcasts are, from my maximum 720p web camera. So you're coming over here for the bad quality, kids. Um, um, so what is Kraft Television Theater? Well, it's produced by Kraft, um, uh, Kraft, like the cheese, Kraft the food company, right? Um Major big sponsor, and yes, they do try to sell the cheese a lot on these programs. But it was macaroni and cheese. Macaroni in the pot. So it was produced by NBC and sponsored by Kraft, and it was a production of live. Of course, it's in the theater. It's in the title, live theater, right? A lot like these. They kind of came back a little bit in like the late 2010s, right? All of these live adaptations of like musicals, right? They did like Peter Pan with oh god, who was it? Peter Pan with Christopher Walken, right? Um and what else did they do? Are we gonna see them push grilled cheese every meal here? They might. Listen, but darling, before we go out onto the lifeboat, would you like some grilled cheese made with some Kraft singles? Oh boy, do I love Kraft cheese. This'll keep me warm as I plunge into the frigid Atlantic water. How nice. I'm out of focus a little bit. Yes. Yes, I think I'm there. So yes, they're producing theater live just on television, and isn't that a brand new newfangled thing? Wow, gee whiz, you got to broadcast this on over our television screens, still being live? Wow, how ingenuitive. Um and this is a television program that ran from 1947 to 1958. And it was in fact actually initially produced by J. Walter Thompson, right? The same ad agency that Walter Lord worked on. It's a microscopic world, and everything is connected to everybody. I mean, this is when we had like a maximum of 9 channels on the television. So don't get me wrong, I fuck with you. Grilled cheese does fuck a little bit. Um, Everybody, you know what? As much as people might make fun of you for like your chicken nuggies and grilled cheeses and stuff, they are still good food. And you know what? Walt Disney did love them. So actually, quite a lot of like, quite a lot of geniuses do have like they're very autistic, routine meals. And what's also so also maybe this might put this into context is that it was produced on Studio 8H at 30 Rockefeller Plaza, which is currently the home of Saturday Night Live. So this is Saturday Night Live, but instead of doing sketches and stuff, we're doing one big theater production, right? Um, what's also kind of cool is that this production had very big sets, right? Very big sets we'll get into in a minute. So what's kind of fun is that everything that happens there also happens in the same room that Saturday Night Live happens. So pizza. Um and also kind of like SNL, KTT. KTT was the jump off point for many very famous actors and directors. They got James Dean in there, they got Grace Kelly in there. Um, the director of this production, oops, sorry, baby girl. The director of this production, um, was the director George Roy Hill, who would go on to also be a successful director. He is very famous for his collaborations with Robert Redford and Paul Newman, um, such as Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. He also directed Toys in the Attic, Slaughterhouse-Five, Thoroughly Modern Millie, and The Sting. So, um, big career forming vehicle this is. This is also specifically season 9, episode 26 of Kraft Television Theater. The Turtles Project. Right. I'm disintegrating. I'm talking too much, kids. We got ourselves a little nasal drip here, too. We're all good. Yes. Okay. So, speaking of big sets, this was the biggest, most lavish, most expensive thing of its kind of like the Titanic herself. She's too big to fail, though. Too big to rig. This production included 31 sets, 107 actors, 72 speaking parts, 3,000 speaking parts, 3,000 gallons of water, and it cost $95,000, which is the equivalent of $1,125,000 today, right? Uh it was just a very big production. This is also like the biggest cast that Kraft Theater Production had. I don't know if this was the biggest ever that they did. We could have used all that water for data centers. Don't these people think of anything? You're selfishly using all of this water to do your dumbass little Titanic theater. But come on, that could be used for something much more important, like creating my AI slop of my ex-girlfriend telling me that she loves me and she actually didn't want to leave me. And it was actually just the wokes who said that I am a bad person for not contributing anything ever to our relationship. It's not my fault. I need AI. uh Right, it was just big. It was just a big adaptation. This adaptation, something to keep a note of is that this is actually kind of closer to the book, and that there's no real like main character here. It is very much like a cast of thousands kind of story, because it literally was a cast of thousands. The event itself had thousands of people dying. So and it's we're going to see it jump around from a lot of different characters' perspectives, which is kind of why the narrator, Claude Rains, is will kind of be an important role here as he like makes the transition between the jump of point of views here. Um, Big production. It's just a big production. Huge. The art director, just to put this into a little bit of a context here, Dwayne McKinney said the replica of the grand staircase was 50 feet wide, 20 feet high. Um, uh, this was shot on 6 live cameras with 2 on reserve. Most productions nowadays don't even have that many cameras, I don't think. So this was just a massive production. And unlike the Titanic being so big and being too big to rig, too big to sink, um and then sinking anyway, this was actually very, very successful, right? It had 20 million live viewers, which dare anybody to get 20 million viewers today, 28 million viewers today, right? It also got a rerun 5 weeks later, which is, not all that heard of at the time. There was new technology. It was called a kinescope, uh, able to record a live production for further use somewhere on the side. So that was new technology that was happening for this. And it was big and important enough to be recorded, so that's also important. Um, it also received 5 Emmy nominations. Um, those 5 nominations were Best Single Program of the Year, Best Teleplay Writing, for George Roy Hill, the director as well, and John Whedon, who happens to be the grandfather of Joss Whedon. So if you want to blame anything on anybody, you can go ahead and blame this Night to Remember Cross Television Theater adaptation. It was also nominated for Best Direction, for George Roy Hill again, Best Live Camera Work, and Best Art Direction for Dwayne McKinney. And it won the Emmy for live camera work. So all of those 6 cameras did come in handy. That's right. That's right. Um, It also won 2 Sylviana Television Awards, for Best Television Adaptation and Best Technical Production. If you don't know what a Sylviana Award is, here it is, right here, right? I also wouldn't blame you for not knowing. Um, so the Sylviana Television Awards were a competition award show to the Emmys. They were produced by the Sylviana Electric Products Company, which was founded in, I'm out of focus. The Titanic movie is the reason I don't have a Buffy. Oops. 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 Here it is. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, kids. It was the Titanic that sunk her. The Titanic versus Buffy. Does Buffy ever like fight the Titanic? She should. She should. um So, Sylviana Electric Products was founded in Salem, Massachusetts, which is important to me because I love Salem. Um, uh, they did light bulbs. Yeah, they mostly got their start in light bulbs. They did light bulbs. Um, if you've never heard of the name Sylviana Electric Products, that's because they are as with a lot of these companies that we've talked about with these early century companies, of course, there's buyouts, there's mergers, all of this fucking horseshit. Capitalism is collapsing. So nowadays it's like a subsidiary of a subsidiary of Verizon. So it's way down there. It's there somewhere. It's just not great. And you've never heard of this because the award show only ran from 1951 to 1959. So they got they got looshooed. Right. Right. The collapse of capitalism is now called being looshooed. Um So that's why you've never heard of the Sylviana Awards, but they were supposedly just as prestigious as an Emmy. It's just that the Emmys have survived longer. So, and this award right here, which is a shame because look at this award. This award like fucking slaps. The time about like like television, ooh, and timing, the electric like little lightning bolts here, this lady holding up the clock. This is an example. It's a Sylviana Award from 1954, I think it says. And this says, for outstanding contribution to creative television technique. So, if we ever want to bring back the Sylviana Awards, I think this is a slamming award. I would love to hold that up, right? Let me see if I can. Wait a minute, hold on. I think she's a cool lady. I love my I would like to thank the Academy for the Sylviana Award. Isn't she gorgeous, folks? Wow. Thank you so much. Television excellence at its finest. She's just so beautiful. Love her. You know. I'm already half corporate. Ah. Yes. So, any questions, comments, concerns about Walter Lord, A Night to Remember, the book, Kraft Television Theater? We will be getting into viewing it right meow. Oop. I saw the Caroline Leavitt face again. It's wow. Wow. Uh, hmm. Uh, I'm humming and hawing because I think I just saw an AI thing. An AI recommendation in your YouTube on your YouTube homepage just has a way of ruining your day. So, since there are no more questions, comments, concerns, we shall begin our live television review. This is live theater. Live theater, I shall remind you. Live theater. So you must tuck yourself in, get your popcorn, get your snickety snacks. We are doing very good over here, Lance. We're finally done with our introductory portion of the broadcast, and we are moving on to the viewing of the piece of itself. We are, imagine yourself, you are in the theater. You are in the theater. And the lights are turning low. You have your sody pop. You have your popcorn.
We come to this place for magic.
You have your
Theatres
Reese's Pieces.
to laugh, to cry, to care. Because we need
And
that.
you better not be filming any
All
of
of
this
us.
with your phone. You
That
better
indescribable
not
feeling you get
be looking at
when
this
the lights
shit
begin to dim
and trying
you
to
go
sell it
somewhere
online.
we've never been before.
Pirating is a crime. Won't you think of the studio's bottom line?
Not just entertained, but somehow reborn together. Dazzling images on a huge silver screen.
Dazzling images.
Sound that I can feel. Somehow,
Heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
Our heroes feel like the best part of us, and stories feel perfect and powerful. Because here,
They are.
Go AMC Theatres.
I can never get
We
that
make
timing
movies
right.
better.
What's the topic for this one again?
All right. So here we are. We're about to begin our live viewing of Kraft Television Theaters adaptation of A Night to Remember. This is an upload by CH parentheses CH. So thank you so much, CH.
In 1898,
Can you hear
a
this?
struggling author named Morgan Robertson wrote this book. It was fiction. It looked into the future and told the story of a fabulous Atlantic liner far larger than any that had ever been built. Its displacement was 70,000 tons.
Okay.
Its top speed, 25 knots. Its length, 800 feet.
Boop.
On a day in April, she departed on a voyage across the North Atlantic. Her capacity was 3,000 people. But since she was considered unsinkable, she carried lifeboats for only a fraction of that number. 4 days later, on a cold April night, she raced across the North Atlantic, heedless of iceberg warnings, struck an iceberg, and went down, carrying the rich and complacent aboard her to the bottom. It symbolized the end of an age of luxury, class inequality, of supreme self-confidence of man against fate. The name Robertson gave his ship was the Titan. The name of his book, Futility.
Pretty quiet.
In 1912, 14 years after this book was published, a British shipping company, the White Star Line, built a fabulous Atlantic liner far larger than any that had ever been built.
The Titanic. I kept wanting to hear it's just a jump to the left. And then a sit to the right. So this book was real, Futility. Or later renamed to be the wreck of the Titan, the sinking of the Titan, or something like that. It was a book that seemingly predicted the sinking of the Titanic, right? He just listed all of the things that are very similar about it, but like everything that seemingly predicts mass tragedy before they actually happen, of course, the actual book does not focus a lot on the similarities, right? It's mostly about this guy. He's serving on this ship, the Titan. He's like a drunken sailor type. And he witnesses the ship just plow right through another ship off the coast of Ireland, but the higher up sailors are all like, "You better not fucking tattle on us, boy. We're just gonna kill those people and go off into the good night, and no one's gonna be none the wiser, okay? You stay right there and don't tell nobody about nothing." But then, of course, they do run into an iceberg out into the Atlantic, and the ship starts to go down, and like all of the bad sailors die. And so and this the main sailor, he escapes onto the iceberg itself, like with a little girl, and he like saves her. He then he then fights and wins against a polar bear. And then he's picked up by the lifeboat, and then he goes back to England, or maybe it was New York, and he's like, "Yeah, these sailor guys, they really did die." But then he gets or they killed that other boat, and so like all of their crimes came to light, and they were incompetent, and like we didn't have enough lifeboats and stuff. And so the all of the he justice was served. All of the bad sailors are dead, and their crimes got came to light. But then the mom of the girl that he saves like sues him for kidnapping, and then he kind of dies homeless and drunk. And that's Titan. Are you describing it kind of, I mean, it's kind of that. I was completely tickled by the fact that he escaped onto the iceberg itself, which no other Titanic adaptation ever wants to involve the iceberg like that no more. Why is that? Why is that? Why don't they want to? The iceberg's like the big villain and stuff. Kind of like zhuzh it up a little bit, you know? Why has no one ever made like the reproduction of like ice? It's frozen, but from the villain's point of view this time, the iceberg, where we rehabilitate the ice. Well, actually, that kind of is the Bowen Yang bit from Saturday Night Live. Live from the Titanic. It's Saturday night, right? So I mean, I guess yeah, SNL kind of actually did do that. This is this is the SNL, right? It's in the SNL studio. I'm an annoying gay iceberg. Right. Hey, all villains are gay coded anyway, so oh, but then after the actual sinking of the Titanic, the guy who did this futility, right? He republished the book with the subtitle "The Wreck of the Titan," right? Because capitalizing on the way that he predicted this fucking tragedy, which is kind of grim, kind of not that great, especially like right after it too. And then he rewrote the ending to be that like, yeah, he was after the lady like sued him. The judge actually gave him like a much lenient. It was like was like, you're being kind of a Karen. Maybe stop doing that. He saved your daughter's life or whatever. And then he's still a drunk. He was still on the street for a little bit, but then he got a government job, and everything turned out fine. So much better ending, much better, much happier for everybody involved, except for the polar bear. So.
Cast off string line. On the string line.
Her displacement was 66,000 tons. Her
Bad
length,
fall.
882
Right.
feet. Her top speed, 25 knots.
Water. Water speed astern. Water speed astern.
What a Peter stood. These are all sets.
On April the 10th, 1912, she departed Southampton on her maiden voyage to New York. Her capacity was 3,000 people, but since she was considered unsinkable, she carried lifeboats for only a fraction of that number. The name the White Star Line gave to its ship, the Titanic.
Titanic. There she is. Isn't she beautiful, folks?
4 days later, on a cold April night, she raced across the North Atlantic, carrying passengers worth collectively $250 million. This is
250
the story
million.
of her last night, as remembered by those who survived. What you will see all actually took place. It is as accurate as man can reconstruct that night. This is not fiction. This is fact.
This is fact.
Johnson.
Although
night
meals were
to
included in the
remember.
price of passage, here in the Titanic a la carte restaurant, it was possible to be even more exclusive by paying handsome prices for them.
Yes, sir. The White Nose will begin in a moment. Have arrangements been made?
Yes, at the corner table.
Good. The captain will be dining with their party.
I'll look after them myself, sir.
Is that a prosthetic nose?
Mr. Strauss, Mrs. Strauss, good evening. How are
Or
you?
it might just be the lighting and the camera quality.
Working in his stateroom at 6:45 that night was Thomas Andrews, builder
I love
of the
that guy
Titanic.
though. I hope he comes
At
back.
39 years old, the senior naval architect of Harland and Wolff Shipbuilders, a shipbuilding genius.
Come.
Excuse me, sir, but it's nearly 7 o'clock and you'll be late for the White Nose dinner party.
Alfred, I designed the first-class writing room as a place for ladies to retire to after dinner. It hardly ever seems to be occupied.
Well, if I may be allowed an observation, sir, the ladies of the 20th century are not as retiring as they formerly were.
Oh.
I believe you're right. At any rate,
They're not as
I'm gonna make it
retiring.
smaller.
Right.
thanks,
Right.
Alfred.
Right.
And put in 2 more staterooms.
Although this was a working trip for Thomas Andrews, his official capacity on board was that of a passenger, as was that of Mr. J. Bruce Ismay, president and managing director of the White Star Lines.
Well, of course, we haven't begun to see yet what she can do, but I have asked for a speed run for tomorrow morning, and we'll see what happens when we give her a head.
Do you think we'll break the record to New York, Mr. Ismay?
Well,
Dear, no, we're
you
not
know
out
what
to set
happens
the
when you
speed
give a
record
girl
for
a
the
head.
Titanic. We should get up to 25 knots without too much trouble.
Mr. Ismay.
Oh, excuse me, gentlemen.
I was wondering if you might have that message I gave you this morning.
Message?
Yes, the wireless message, the iceberg warning from the Baltic.
Yes, of course. I was showing it to Mrs. Thayer and Mrs. Ryerson this afternoon. They're very impressed.
Oh, thank you.
We're going into dinner.
No, I'm being entertained by the White Nose this evening. I'm sorry.
Well, I'll see you later, then.
Captain Edward J. Smith, 59 years old, senior captain of the White Star Line, the man who had said,
I cannot conceive of any vital disaster happening to a vessel of today. Modern shipbuilding has gone beyond that.
the wireless warning Captain Smith had asked Mr. Ismay to return at 7:10 in the smoking room was the third warning the captain had received that
Oh, yes,
day.
this is my first time viewing most of these as well. Yes. I'm viewing them live with
The
you.
Titanic Salon Orchestra under
Sometimes
the baton
I-
of Wallace Henry Hartley. The selection,
I watched. I thumbed through a little bit. I watched just enough to know that like this is well, I've had some problems in the past, but like to know that this is like a good version of it. But yes, for the most part, I'm going in blind, just like you all.
the Barcarolle from the Tales of Hoffman.
After all, Mr. Andrews built this ship. Now he seems to spend his time prowling around trying to find fault with it.
Oh, my
This
dear,
is the
that's
first time
very
that we've also seen a lot of Andrews being a central player here.
If you're interested.
But of course I'm interested.
Then, we're having trouble with the restaurant galley hop press. The color of the pebble dashing on the private promenade decks is too dark. And there are too many screws in the stateroom hatch hooks.
I want my money back.
At 7:30, iceberg warning number 4 was received. It indicated an area directly in the path of the Titanic.
Well, you should have seen Tom Andrews at the trial. The sort of detail on this ship that he is familiar with. He's terribly conscientious.
You can't even really see their costumes. Oh, the poors, they dance
decks below, in the Titanic steerage, were 712 souls, 179 women, 467 men, and 78 children. At 9 that night, a young Irish couple were performing a jig. Enjoying their performance, Klaus and Hilda Clausen and their daughter Gertrude.
Come on, Hilda, let's try. Oh, Hilda, come on, let's try. Hilda, what do you want to do? What's all to that?
There's a rat?
Don't mind, as long as he stays on board the ship. If he gets off, then I'll worry. Come on, Hilda, let's try. Come on.
The
Hi,
wireless
lady.
room of the Titanic. First operator, John George Phillips, on duty. He was coming to the end of his 14-hour day, doing his job, for which his pay was $30 a month, or approximately 7 cents an hour. The time,
Wow.
9:30 p.m.
What you getting?
Another ice warning.
Ah. The Masaba reports ice, latitude 42 degrees north. Where's that?
I don't know. I'm no navigator.
Yeah, do you think it could be this?
Oh, look, leave me alone.
I
I'm
don't
trying
know.
to get Cape Race.
What's Cape Race?
A relay station in Newfoundland. The passengers have got me loaded with messages to send to the States. They must think this is a toy. Listen. Lovely trip. Found my beans. Guess who I ran into at
Found
the
my
Vatican,
beans.
dying to
Very
see you.
British.
Love, Lily. And there's stacks of... Wait a minute, that's Cape Race now.
The 5th iceberg warning. Had operator Phillips been a navigator, he would have known that the Titanic was already well within the latitudes and longitudes described in the message.
Wait a minute. Do you think something bad might happen to them? My goodness. All of this narration makes me a little bit nervous.
33 degrees, sir.
Oh, better send word to the carpenter to see that the fresh water supply doesn't freeze.
Yes, sir.
And warn the engine room to keep an eye on the steam winches.
Right, sir.
The warning
steam
to
winches.
protect the steam winches
Keep
from
an eye on
freezing
our
was sent by Second Officer Charles Herbert Lightoller at 10 p.m.
Good evening, Mr. Lightoller.
Good evening, sir.
Getting colder.
Yes, sir, 1 degree above freezing.
Not much wind.
No, sir, flat calm. Pity the breeze didn't keep up while we're going through this area. Ice is easier to see at night if there are waves dashing against it.
Oh, well, we should have warning enough on a night as clear as this.
I should think so, sir.
Well, if anything unusual develops, I'll be in my cabin.
Right, sir?
Nothing bad shall ever happen to them. Well, I'm most assured by this dialogue and this commentary.
30 miles
Nothing bad
away,
shall ever happen to
aboard
them.
the Leyland liner Californian, bound from London to Boston.
To California.
The time, 10:30. Third Officer Charles Victor Groves on duty.
Stop engines!
Problem, Mr. Groves?
An ice field, Captain. We're blocked completely.
Oh, yes, can't proceed through that. Too dangerous.
That's what I thought, sir.
Stop all engines. We'll stay out on morning. Send out a warning to all ships in the area.
Aye, aye, sir.
I shall be in the chart room. Send out that warning immediately.
Aye, aye, sir.
Well,
The
nothing
wireless
bad shall
shack
happen to them.
of the
We know that for
Californian.
sure.
Operator Cyril
They
F.
stopped.
Evans on duty. Time, 11 p.m.
Spark, send this ice warning to all ships within range. We're stopped tonight. It's too dangerous to proceed. Right.
Aboard the Titanic, wireless operator Phillips got the Californian signal all right. They were so close it almost blew his ears off. He didn't wait for the message, but snapped right back. His reply, shut up, I'm busy, I'm working Cape Race.
And that is kind of something that we haven't touched upon in any other adaptation. The California was that close. And the Titanic snapped back, shut up. And that's kind of where they lost. But well, what is quite interesting is that the how close it is translates to how loud the signal comes into the wireless guy's
Aboard the
ears.
Titanic, wireless operator Phillips got the Californian signal all right. They were so close it almost blew his ears off. He didn't wait for the message. It snapped right back. His reply, shut up, I'm busy, I'm working Cape Race.
This fucking guy. And he's usually seen as like the hero and one of the many heroes in the story, right? Being um, sending out signals up until the very last moment with the water already pooling around his ankles and such, right? And when it was kind of that mistake right there that kind of doomed everybody. Well, of course, there was a short supply of lifeboats and everything else, every other cascading choice as well.
Good night, it is.
But it's also not his fault. He was an overworked and underpaid employee, right? He was being paid 7 cents an hour. He was
Aboard the
already
Titanic,
on
the
hour
passengers
14 of his
had settled down
shift.
for the night.
And his ears
All but a few
hooded.
diehards.
Have you not considered that maybe his ears hooded? How about you shut up?
Good night, you. Good night, gentlemen.
Here in the first-class smoking room, the White Star Line's usual rule against Sunday card playing had been relaxed, and a small group took advantage of the privilege. Time all good people were in bed, really.
Good night, Mother. Good night, dear.
All good people were in bed. Just like UK 16-year-olds, you should not be on the internet. You should be in bed past 7 p.m. What the heck are you doing? No, I won't build any third space for you. You just don't get any more freedoms.
Everywhere, quiet had settled down over the ship.
Why did he put his shoes out there? What is that? What is that? Putting your shoes out into the fucking
5
hallway of
decks
a
below,
ship? What is that?
even the stokers were taking their ease.
What do you want,
It was
Santa to come?
11:35, almost the end of their shift.
Would anybody take a bet that we make 25 knots tomorrow?
I take a little bet on that.
You know what we made today? 22 knots. It's not bad.
Seaman Frederick Fleet and Reginald Lee were on
Seaman.
watch in the crow's nest. Time, 11:40. Air temperature, 32 degrees.
Everybody's
Water
at the
temperature,
end of their like
31.
14-hour shift.
Like glass, isn't it? You know, if there were a moon, one could see for miles. Good God! Look at that! What?
Wow. That's an amazing performance. Yeah, what a great night. What is that?
Bridge, what did you see?
Iceberg! Right ahead, sir!
Pilot starboard!
Stop engine! But how long does it take to turn this ship?
No trouble.
Wow. You better close them doors. You better close them doors. Wow. The well-lit white thing out there.
We're gonna miss her! We're gonna miss her!
Wow, did you see the camera work there? Ooh. Ooh, shit. Did something bad just happen to us?
Father? Father, we landing?
It sounded to me as if something went wrong in the kitchen.
I don't know.
Hilda, you've hit something. Get the child. Quickly, come on.
Gets a child.
Depending upon their location in the ship, the initial jar was felt in varying degrees. Shipbuilder Andrews concentrated on his work, did not feel it at all.
Oh, there she is.
What was that? An iceberg, sir. I hard starboarded and reversed the engines, and I was going to hard a port around it, but she was too close. I couldn't do any more, sir.
Close the emergency doors.
They're already closed, sir.
Take a look below, quickly.
Aye.
Report back, quickly.
Aye.
Thanks, we've got aground, that's what.
I tell you, we lost a propeller blade, that's what it was. I know the sort of shudder a ship gives.
Well, you know what that means, lad. Back to Belfast for repairs.
The
It's
gallons.
Belfast for
You're
a week
right.
a week.
It's the gallons.
It went thus throughout the ship. Rumors, counter-rumors. But above the depths of the ship, in first and second class, where the jar was barely felt, there was little excitement, little or no commotion. Mrs. John B. Thayer of Philadelphia was reassured.
Well, I'm sure I couldn't tell you, madam, but I'm sure it isn't much.
It
and
isn't
at
much.
11:45, life aboard the great liner returned to its usual pace. Nothing seemed amiss. Everything seemed perfectly normal, yet not quite.
You hear that?
I tell you, it was a propeller
Sounds like
blade. It
something
happened once on
bad
the old
happening
boat,
to us.
eh?
Uh-oh.
Steward,
Oh, yes, Mrs. Rouse.
why have the engine stopped?
There is talk of an iceberg, ma'am. They have stopped not to run over it.
An iceberg?
That's right, miss.
Oh, I've never seen an iceberg.
Neither have I. Let's run up and see it.
Where? That will certainly go well.
A few of the more hardy among the passengers got together on the deck. Among them, Colonel Archibald Gracie and his old friend, Clint Smith.
What's up? Why have we stopped?
Would you like a souvenir to take back to New York with you, Archie?
A souvenir of what?
Ice.
Oh.
Where did you get ice?
Up forward. There are tons of it in the starboard well deck. Brushed off the iceberg and we went past it. Come on, I'll show you. Some of the steerage people are playing with it. It's quite a lark.
Oh, somebody's lights went off. Still one for
Making
that
water
camera.
fast, sir. Where? Number 6 boiler room. Number 5, too.
What happened? What did we hit?
Any of the others damaged?
I don't know, sir. That's as far as I got. The emergency door...
Captain, what is going on?
I regret to state, Mr. Ismay, we have struck an iceberg.
Is the ship seriously damaged, do you think?
I'm afraid she is. I've sent for Mr. Andrews.
She can't sink, can she, with her watertight compartments? Mr. Andrews.
What's happened?
We struck ice, Tom. She's taking water past the number 5, number 6 boiler rooms.
You better have a look at it.
That voice crack, do you think that was a choice?
Shut the gate, please. Shut the gate, please.
It works. Oh, big hard men doing work. Oh God, hope they don't drown. They look like the Titanic. Ah, so big and strong.
The second officer, Lightoller, returned to his cabin from inspecting the deck. He knew something was wrong, but he was off duty, and he should be where they would expect to find
Not
him
my monkeys,
in
not
case
my
of
circus.
emergency.
Not my monkeys,
waited,
not my circus.
like the good officer he was.
I'm just really trying to think about me. Yeah, I'm in my 30s and I'm all about me now.
I don't know the other. What are they doing down here? I don't know.
The Poors, they have all of these weird accents. Water, where?
With the fires nearly out of number 6 boiler room, the men started back to the next boiler room, where pumps were so far staying ahead of the water.
Oh, somebody didn't get all the way out of the shot before they stopped their blocking.
Back from their inspection, shipbuilder Andrews
This is live
outlined
production,
the
folks.
situation to Captain Smith and President Ismay in the chart room.
And there are 16 separate watertight compartments with watertight bulkheads between each. Now she is taking water in the first 6 compartments, the forepeak, number 1 hold, number 2 hold, the mailroom, boiler room
If
number
you've
6,
seen the cabin
and boiler room
Titanic,
number
are you
5.
seeing a
That
lot of...
makes 6 compartments gone. It means she's suffered a gash of nearly 300 feet.
Well, never mind the mathematics, man. What are her chances?
The inspirations? Of course, the
comes
the
down to
film
mathematics,
next
Mr.
time
Ismay.
will be the major.
The Titanic can
But
float
are you
with any
watching?
2
Are you paying attention
of
to
her
the facts
16
and
watertight
things?
compartments flooded. She could
This is
float
Walter
with
Lord's
even
work,
3
of
of her
course.
first 5 compartments flooded.
Girly pop.
She might even float with all of her first 4 gone. But with her first 6 all gone, she cannot stay afloat.
The compartments are watertight.
They're not sealed on top. The bulkheads go only as high as E-deck. If the first 5 are flooded, the bow will sink so low that the water in the 6th compartment will overflow into the 7th compartment. And when that is full, it will overflow into the 8th and so on back.
There's nothing that we can do.
I'm afraid not, sir. The ship must go down.
She must go down.
How long do you give her, Tom?
The water was about 14 feet above the keel in the first 10 minutes. It's now nearly midnight. It's been 20 minutes since we hit the ice. Let's say 2 hours. Certainly very little more than that.
The bridge of RMS Titanic. The time, 12 midnight, April 14, 1912. A night to remember.
Oh, we're back from commercial break.
You will have the lifeboats uncovered immediately and swung out.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Murdoch?
Yes, sir.
Have the passengers mustered on the top deck as quickly and as quietly as possible. There will be no general alarm rung, nothing to cause panic.
Aye, aye, sir.
Break out the list of boats assignments for the crew. Wake up Mr. Lightoller and Mr. Pittman.
Aye, sir.
You know they
British
heard
shipping
so much
laws
about
required
Kraft
all
cheese
vessels over
during that
10,000
commercial.
tons gross to carry 16 lifeboats. President Ismay's line, the White Star Line, met the requirements. The Titanic, 46,328 gross tons, carried 16 lifeboats, which, along with 4 collapsibles, was enough to accommodate a little over 1,000 of its total capacity of 3,000 people. The law had been fulfilled.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes, sir.
We struck an iceberg. Send out the call for assistance.
The regulation distress call, sir?
Yes, at once. There's our position.
In the wireless room of the liner Californian, standing where she had stopped 10 miles away, Operator Evans, off duty since 11:30, was joined at 12:08 by Officer Groves. Groves was an amateur Marconi addict.
Any news?
Don't ask me. I'm closed for the night.
Pretty soft life, if you ask me.
Well, you try working 16 hours without relief.
Mind if I fool around?
Oh, suit yourself.
Any boats around?
Only the Titanic.
Oh, really? Where's the receive switch?
Bottom on the left.
Hobbyists. They think they can do anything.
Nothing.
Well, no wonder you have to wind the detector.
The what?
The detector. It's magnetic, runs by clockwork. You have to wind it up if you want to hear anything.
This is what would happen if, like, all those men who think that they can land a plane just 'cause. It's right there. It's right there. The camera.
We struck an iceberg.
I knew we must have struck something.
The water's up to F deck.
And there was no general alarm. Captain's orders. But quickly and quietly, word passed among the passengers. Mr. and Mrs. Lucian Smith of Philadelphia.
That's a nice little lamp. And it goes down with the ship. Oh, God.
It's all right, dear. We're in the north, and we've struck an iceberg. Now, it doesn't amount to anything, but it'll probably delay us a day getting into New York.
Oh. Oh, you frightened me.
However, as a matter of form, the captain has ordered all ladies on deck.
Oh, no.
Steward Edges
Oh,
and Mining King
no.
Benjamin Guggenheim.
God, what an inconvenience to me in my sleeping. Although if I was woken up at 1 a.m., I would probably be like, I'm going the fuck
Step around
down.
when I need him. No, sir, is that better?
If
No.
I don't get my full 8
So
hours,
they'll all be wearing them.
might as well just let me die anyway.
Now look here, I don't need that. It'll be very chilly, sir. I'm much better if you wear it. What are you talking about? It'll be perfectly all right.
A good little back and forth.
In the third-class hallway on
all the
E-deck,
extras didn't
there
know
was
they
less
needed to start
formality
talking
and
then.
even more difficulty.
Order, there is no danger. But the captain asked you all to put on life belts. Oh, never mind what they are, just put them on. Here.
The gentleness with which the first-class passengers are treated, however.
Others, like Colonel Gracie and his friend Clinch Smith, receiving no official word, put two and two together.
Yes? Stand up
I
straight.
don't sleep until
I am
1
standing
a.m.
up.
Well,
All right. She's beginning
And then
to
you'd be ready to go, right?
Lynch, if worse comes to worse, let's stick together. We might be able to be of some help here and there, if it is serious. All right, Archie.
I like these two.
Better
The
get something
homosexual
doing.
friends.
I'll meet you here in 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
At 12:15, Officer Wilde removed the covers from the lifeboats and Officer Lightoller started the loading.
Captain has asked for the women and children to board the boats, please. Come along, please. Please come along. Will you please hurry? We haven't much time to get all the boats loaded. Now come along, man.
Oh, I couldn't possibly. Oh, my goodness. Oh, what are you doing? I'm getting onto the lifeboat.
Certainly not. This is ridiculous. We're much safer here than that little boat. Come along inside. You madam.
We're much safer here than we are on that
Colonel
rickety
Astor
boat.
expressed what they all felt. The loading at 12:15 was slow. At 12:20, wireless operator Phillips received the first answers to his distress call. The North German Lloyd steamer, Frankfurt, 150 miles away.
I know it's mid-June and
The
they don't
Canadian
have a
Pacific's Mount
little bit of
Temple,
time
50
there.
miles away,
Where?
but on the other side of the ice field. The news spread in ever-widening circles. Cape Race heard it and relayed it inland. On the roof of Wanamaker's department store in New York City, a young wireless operator, David Sarnoff, caught a faint signal and passed it on. The time, 12:24.
Oh, I
An
haven't heard of.
Associated Press dispatch crossed the news desk of the New York Times. The Titanic was sinking.
My God. I don't believe it.
While the
I
whole
haven't heard of
world was
the
snapping
land
to agonized
transmission.
attention, Henry, Sleeper Harbor, aboard the Titanic, remained unconvinced.
Of course it's nonsense asking us to bob about in a boat out there in the dark when we can stay in here.
Wait.
Aboard the world was snapping to agonized attention, Henry, Sleeper Harbor, aboard the Titanic, remained unconvinced.
Of course it's nonsense asking us to bob about in a boat out there in the dark when we can stay in here. Besides, it's freezing out there.
You're perfectly right, my dear.
And Mrs. Astor wasn't frightened, only curious.
There you are, you see. It's cork inside.
Why, how clever.
Cork.
I'm sure you'll be all back in your bed.
The last time I saw you, I told you to put on your life belt.
Yes, but I thought
Put it
rather...
on, walk about, let the passengers see you in it.
Isn't that rather mean?
If you value your life, put it on.
Oh, this afternoon. We better spend just one day in New York.
I'll change the reservation. We can take the train to Florida on the 18th.
The train to Florida.
Is this coat all right?
Pretty cold on deck.
Well, maybe I better take them both. Oh,
What is it?
my jewelry.
My dear, it might be wiser not to bother with trifles.
Well, I'll just take these two.
Come along now, dear.
Nothing bad should happen to them, right?
We're trying to get turned the other way. Step back in there.
Oh, my goodness.
What's your name? Destroying company property. I'll report you. And I'll have the whole bunch of you arrested when we reach New York.
Snitch. Brother, the boat's going down. I mean, you don't really know that yet, but...
At 12:42 p.m., over 1 hour after striking the iceberg, it took more bravery or more foresight to leave the Titanic than to stay aboard. And Officer Murdoch felt he could wait no longer.
Lower away!
And the first boat, number 7, was lowered. Its capacity, 40. Its passengers, 20. Time, 12:45. At the very stern end of the Titanic, Quartermaster George Thomas Rowe, pacing
Even
his
with the
watch,
narration, are you getting a bit about like what the book is doing? Like we're seeing this tragedy unfold in real time. We're still so very it's the capacity of the lifeboats always fucking gets me. God,
reported
it just sucks.
an unusual sight.
Amtrak is testing faster trains? I hope so.
There's a boat afloat out here.
Could we possibly be back?
Well, sir, I just saw it.
Maybe we could take the train to
Quartermaster
Florida
Wilson,
at some
Stonewall.
point.
What, sir?
And 1 hour and 10 minutes after the Titanic hit, Quartermaster Rowe became the last man to learn what was going on.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
Oop.
Captain, there's a ship out there, sir, not more than 10 miles away. We've been trying to reach her by Morse land.
Any reply?
I thought there was for a while, sir, but it seems to be just her masthead flickering.
Rowe. Yes, sir. Did you bring up the rockets?
Yes, sir.
Or fire one. And then fire one every 5 or 6 minutes.
Yes, sir.
She'll respond to those all right.
Yes, sir.
Never trust a Californian.
On the bridge of the Californian, Second Officer Herbert Stone watched and counted. By 12:55, he had counted 5 rockets.
I thought she was trying to signal us a while back, sir. But I think it was just her masthead flickering.
Strange to be firing rockets at night. Have a look at her now. Looks very queer out of the water.
Very queer. Happy
She
pride.
seems to be listing. Looks like she's got a big side out of water.
Yes, what is it?
Sir, there's a ship on the port bow.
I know that. What about it?
She's been firing rockets. I've counted 5 of them altogether.
Are they company rockets?
I don't know, sir. But they appear to me to be white rockets.
Hey, use the Morse lamp.
We did, sir.
Well, use it again.
And at 1 a.m., Captain Stanley Lord of the SS Californian finally got to sleep.
Damn. Ooh, good overlay.
The time, 1 a.m.
Baby, my
April
heart's
15,
on fire.
1912. A night to remember.
Oh, the second commercial break. Are we back?
The
Buy
Titanic Center
Kraft
Orchestra
cheese,
under
everybody.
the
Make
baton
yourself
of
a
Wallace
grilled
Henry Hartley.
cheese.
The selection, Hello, My Baby.
Any response from that?
Lose me, honey, you lose me. Come on, my ragtime gal. Telephone and tell me I'm. Oh. They said they made a note of it because, like, telephone and tell me I'm your gal. And nobody's picking up on the telephone.
The sight of the Titanic's distress signals may have made little impression on the SS Californian, but aboard the Titanic, they had their effect.
Please hurry. Will you hurry along? There's not a moment to lose. Will you please hurry along?
You are kind of seeing people kind of come into action a little bit. Here
And
and
the
there.
team of Gracie and Smith was already functioning
That might be
smoothly.
why they lost Best Production overall and just won for camera work.
Quickly, dear. Dearest. I never expected I'd have to ask you to obey, but this one time you must. Now, it's only a matter of form to have the women and children go first. The ship is thoroughly equipped. Everyone on her will be saved.
Are you telling me the truth?
Yes. Now, quickly, dear, into a boat.
Women and children only. Lower away! Ready as she goes.
Keep your hands in your pockets. It's very cold weather.
Women and children only was the rule of the night on the port side of the ship where Officer Lightoller was in charge. But on the starboard side, Officer Murdoch was more lenient.
I don't want to go.
Entering lifeboat number 3,
You can almost
Henry
hear the director
Sleeper
yell
Hall.
action. Yeah. No!
his Egyptian dragoman, Hamad Assar,
Come on, here we go.
Oh,
and
thank
his
God.
prize Pekingese, Sun Yat-sen.
Well, thank goodness the dog survived. A lot of dogs did. There were plenty that did die.
Somebody will be down to escort the women and children on deck in a short time. Please be patient.
A small group of women and children had been sent up from steerage at 12:30. That had been half an hour before. Now, at 1:05, steerage waited patiently, for the most part.
All right, which way? Tell this way.
No admittance, first class.
Hey, you can't go through here.
So what's to stop us?
It's the rules for first class passengers.
It's against the rules.
Jam the bloody rules. Open the gate. Wait! Lay your hands on me, will you? I'll bust your bloody head.
At 12:36, in the wireless room of the Titanic, Operator Phillips received his first encouragement.
She's 58 miles away, sir. And she says she's coming hard.
58 miles. They'll be too late.
Please, now, there's not a moment. to
Carpathia
lose.
mentioned.
We must get
That
women
counts.
and children off first. Will you hurry along there, please?
That counts.
Will you lower away? Lower away there. Hurry, will you? If you get the hell out of the way, I'll be able to do something. You want me to lower away quickly? You'll have me drown the whole lot of them.
There had been no
Oh,
need
he's
for a
doing
lifeboat
so
drill
much.
aboard an
He's doing so
unsinkable
much
ship.
action. He's
No
acting,
procedure for
goddammit.
abandoning ship. With no fixed policy to guide them, each behaved as the moment and their characters dictated.
Where is your life bill, sir? I gave it away. But, sir...
My valet and I have dressed in our best and we're prepared to go down like gentlemen. Yes.
May we get in now? Yes, go ahead.
As the moment dictated, Sir Cosmo and Lady Duff Gordon.
Get ready to lower away, see my madam.
The Duff Gordon's boat, number 1, was lowered at 110. Capacity 40. Number of passengers 12.
That one hurts.
As their characters dictated.
But at least she got her jewelry box or whatever it was.
Why should I leave him now?
I beg you, my dear.
Isidore,
Oh, is it
we
the
have
Strauss?
been living together many years. Where you go, I go.
But all the other ladies are getting in.
Where he goes, I go.
Well, sir, I'm sure no one's going to object to an old gentleman like you getting in, sir. Come on.
I will not go before the other men.
This was the decision of Mr. and Mrs. Isidore Strauss of New York City. Time 1:15. Number 10 lowered, carrying 53
The Strausses being the great romance of the Titanic, really.
1:20. Number 9 lowered, carrying 55.
Lower away!
1:25. Number 11 lowered, carrying 70. There was no longer difficulty filling the boats. The passengers knew it. And at 1:30, Officer Lowe used his gun.
Oh, there we are.
Try not to pick on this on you.
Oh man, action happening.
Take him down the boat. That's right.
A cross-dresser.
On the starboard side at the moment, there were no candidates at hand. And at 1:46, President Bruce Ismay made his most important decision as president of the White Star Line.
Is there no one else to go? There's room for one more. Is there no one else? Lower away. Lower away.
At the time President Ismay left his ship, there remained on board 1,643 passengers. Among them, 168 women and 57 children.
All right, men, go. Here we go. Let's go cover.
Were allowed to find their way forward and up to the boat deck by themselves. At 1:56, at lifeboat number 4, the Astors had become aware of the situation.
May I accompany my wife? She's in a delicate condition.
She's in a delicate condition, being, you know, rich and all that. A woman being rich all on her own with a dead husband, you know, this she could go crazy, you see. Oh, somebody screaming Jack on the Titanic?
With his mother, he's only 13.
Step back there, will you please? That's the way. Come on, take
Go
it.
more, boys!
All right, just two more down there. One more.
No more boys!
Hey, this way!
Oh, water's already in there.
Come on!
The time, 2 a.m. The last lifeboat on the Titanic. Officer Lightoller took a precaution. Mrs. John Murray Brown and Miss Edith Evans reached the boat with the help of
The
Grace and
homosexuals,
Smith.
they're happily helping people.
Only room for one ball.
Quickly, you have children at home.
Come on now.
Pull up! Roll away! Put your hands down there. Hurry!
Bye-bye, love you. Nothing bad shall happen to me up here. Yeah.
Last boat off the Titanic, 2:05, and 1,554 remained on board.
1,554.
be all right now.
Here, the boat.
Oh. The last lifeboat is gone. This is the poor family that we're following.
Still on board, Operator Phillips, Operator Bride, Captain Smith.
This is what won them the the camera doing like this. That's what won them the Emmy.
Abandon your cabin. It's every man for himself now.
There's still a little power left, sir.
You look out for yourselves. I release you. That's the way of it at this kind of time.
Still on board, the Titanic Salon Orchestra. The time,
Salon.
2:15. The selection, the Episcopal hymn, Autumn. The orchestra's final performance under the baton of Wallace Henry Hartley.
Oh, we're running quite late. It's about 11:40, which is about when the Titanic hits the iceberg.
Still on board, Colonel Gracie and his friend Clinch Smith.
The homosexuals, here they are.
We didn't do so badly. Not bad at all, Archie.
Oh, there he is.
Good luck, Clinch. Good luck, Archie.
But of the two, Colonel Gracie proved the better swimmer.
Aww.
Still on board, young Jack Thayer and his friend Milton Long.
Well, you coming, boy? Go ahead. I'll be right with you.
No splash.
Of these two techniques for abandoning ship, young Jack Thayer's was the one that worked. Still on board, Thomas Andrews, shipbuilder.
Mr. Andrews!
Oh, I don't know if I acknowledge. Yes, the narrator is very. Oh, the chandelier is
Andrews!
Oh, Jesus. The set, she tilts all over and stuff. They're just filling up a tank in front of the camera, you see.
The time, 2:20. The freezing waters of the North Atlantic closed over the grave of the Titanic. She carried with her 1,502 souls, 1,346 men, 102 women, and 54 children, all but one of whom was steerage children. If the Titanic had heeded any of the 6 iceberg warnings,
Spoilers.
if the night had been rough or moonlit, if she had hit the iceberg 15 seconds sooner or 15 seconds later, if her watertight bulkheads had been 1 deck higher, if she had carried enough lifeboats, if the Californian had only heeded and come. Had any of these ifs turned out right, every life might have been saved, but they all went against her. And never again has man been quite so confident. An age had come to an end.
A Night to Remember.
Sell
by
the
Walter
book.
Lord, published
Sell
by
the
Henry
book.
Holt and Company.
Television adaptation by.
Our cast in order of appearance.
I do like how they read things, yeah. There they are. Oh, there they go. This program, of course, with its 28 million live viewers, did do wonders for the sale of the book, which was already a very successful book to begin with, right? It was in the bestseller list for 6 months, so 6 months from November. When did this go out? I can't forget. I don't remember. I did not remember the night to remember. But it only ever boosted the sales for fomenting it as the definitive. And as we saw throughout the film, it was very, very fact-based. The translation of the narrator specifically. Oh, and it ended. The translation of the narrator spitting out the facts, right, as they came along with the dramatic reenactments kind of on the side is, I think, kind of a very good interpretation, a very straightforward adaptation of the book itself. Um, but of course, next time will be perhaps um the biggest adaptation of the Titanic so far. What most of James Cameron based his version off of is 1958's A Night to Remember, a much more dramatic adaptation of all of these facts and of the event itself, but it very much based on this book by Walter Lord. We love Walter Lord. Thank you to him for showing just how good Titanic girlies can be, right? Um, he could do a little bit more of class, and that is again, that is kind of the genius of the Cameron version, and that it does focus on that as opposed to just, hard facts and then, oh, everybody's just having a really bad time, I think we're all having a bad time during the sinking of the Titanic when, of course, as the little factoid kind of snuck in at the very end there, um, all of the 50 or so children who died, only one of them was from first class. The rest of the children who died were from steerage. Um, this is an incident that is all about class, and that is the mad genius of James Cameron. I have to give it to him. Um, uh, the fact that he made his movie all about class, and right as we're seeing in this adaptation, the pores get such a passing mention. We all have the little dance that they have, that those pores have, but then, you know, the, nobody ever focuses on them, much more than the passing mentions. It kind of mixed the presentation with you here in the movie as a whole. Right, right. Our little viewing format of Wet Hot Titanic Summer is very, fact, and then let's watch the drama, fact, and then let's go to the film. So, yeah, it's kind of the Wet Hot Titanic Summer is kind of a microcosm of that. So, it's very near midnight. Thank you all so much for coming in. Let's see what is going on. Tomorrow we'll be here. I'm gonna see. I think I really do. I've been talking about it for a while, but this time I think I really do need to go through my makeup collection, throw out some stuff. So we'll be doing that a little bit, I think. So if that interests you, to throw away some stuff, declutter and stuff and things. Thank you so much for coming in, Lance. Oh my goodness. Tomorrow we will also be doing more Road to Empress. We'll be doing Road to Empress 2. Thanks so much for coming in, Wally. Thank you, thank you. And thank you so much for the raid earlier as well. We love to see it. Thank you so much for bringing Mrs. KH Guides. She's always a pleasure. So thank you for bringing her over. And it is, we'll be doing Road to Empress, and then Thursday we'll be doing A Night to Remember 1958, which is big drama, much better quality than this one. And that will be our week this week. Now I think I will send you over to BioRoxas. He is doing some Final Fantasy 14, I believe. They're doing more Kefka stuff, so please be nice to him as they work their way through that clown stuff. BioRoxas. So that's where we'll be going tonight. Give him some encouragement. You know, he's gonna get through that clown, the gosh dang clown. So that's all for me tonight. Thank you so much. And remember, you are home safe and warm in your bed and not sinking on the Titanic. So at least you have that. That'll be it from me. A good night. There you are. Thank you so much. Bye bye, everybody. Bye bye. Here you go. Whew. And I am ending my stream here. And good night, YouTube. Bye.